What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Crowned, where we give athletes and leaders a platform to share their stories, strengthen their faith, and glorify God through sports. Today's guest is someone who's making a tremendous impact behind the scenes in athletic administration. She is passionate about helping high school student athletes and their families understand the eligibility process and prepare for opportunities at the collegiate level. Her work is opening doors, providing clarity, and equipping the next generation for success both on and off the field. I'm excited for you guys to hear her journey, the lessons she's learned, and the advice she has for athletes, parents, and aspiring sport professionals. Grab a seat, stay tuned, and let's get into the interview.
Young Frenchie, 808.
Love with athletics and wanting to get into athletic administration.
So I've actually been an athlete all my life, honestly. When I got into college, I realized that this was something that I wanted to do professionally because I just loved it so much. So I started off as a college athlete, student athlete, a volleyball player at Fayetteville State University. It's a Division II HBCU in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And from there, I just love the sport. I love competition. And I have been doing things in athletics for about 17 years now. Outside of collegiate athletics, I've done things on the sports side with the Let's Move initiative, Special Olympics, International. So I've been all over the world doing things with their world games, winter games, summer games. So I've been in athletics again all my life.
That's cool. That's really cool. And what are you doing now?
Currently, I am an assistant AD for student athlete support at Anderson University. It is in Anderson, South Carolina. Additionally, I have a consulting business, Next Play Athletics, where I go around and educate, equip student athletes, families, high schools, just on the eligibility process, what it looks like from the recruiting side to get eligible for college-bound student athletes. I also teach and do a lot of professional development when it comes to ensuring that they understand their behavior styles. And I do that through something called athlete assessments. It's a DISC profile that really works well with just anyone, but specifically student athletes, high school administrators, and understanding how to work well with each other and how to kind of gain the best out of themselves through leadership as well as other things that this provides.
That's uh that's really good. That's very beneficial too. A lot of people can benefit from that type of service.
Yeah.
Um, if athletics disappeared tomorrow, who would you be?
I would still be Shaq.
Yeah.
Athletics is some of the things that I do, but it's not who I am. So one thing that I love to tell other people is not my identity. So if I didn't have it, I'm still, a woman of God. I'm still a mom. I'm still a spouse, a wife. I'm still a friend. I'm still a daughter. I'm still all of those things that really hold dear to my heart. Athletics is just, and being an athlete is just one of the things that is what I do, but it's not who I am.
Mhm. Going off that, was it hard for you to make to find your identity once you stopped playing your specific sport?
No, for me, it wasn't. It was something that I said, this is a part of the journey and the process in my life. I understood that it would end at some point. Was it sad?
Yeah.
Yes, because you love your sport, so you can do other things. Additionally, I'm a competitive person, so I do play other sports, but my main sport and what I played in college, I still was able to play outside of college. But
Mhm.
again, when it was time to put up, the volleyball shoes, it was time to put it up. And I
Right.
realized that that was just a part of that process.
Yeah. Well, that's good because I know sometimes athletes have a hard time adjusting once their sport is over with. So that's good that that didn't happen for you.
Yeah. Nowadays it is that way. And it's
Yeah.
because a lot of other things are going on. And so even for me in my role, I make sure that my student athletes understand who they are and their identity. We are a Christian university, so we get to really kind of hone in on, your spiritual foundation and who you are in Christ. So I love that about here, and even if I wasn't here, I still would do things to help student athletes understand that they are more than just their sport, because
Yeah.
there's so many other things again going on where they're just like, if I get hurt, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
If I'm graduating, if I don't go into the NFL, NBA, all those different things, professional, it's the end of the world, and it's not.
Hmm.
So teaching them what this looks like and how to leverage what they've learned as being a student athlete is truly important.
Yeah, that's good. And that's good that you're honing in on that they're more than just their sport. That's really good. Um, when did your relationship with Christ become personal?
So I always I gave my life to Christ. I want to say I was really young, right? But when it really became personal and then when it became a conversation, when it became I truly relied on him, I want to say in my adult life. So when I was in college.
Okay.
Um and that there's different phases of my life where of course my spirituality grew, my relationship with Christ grew. But I was in college when I was like, you know what? I need you. I
Yeah.
need you in my life. I need to, whatever it is that you got going on for me, I need to know those things. And what does that look like? So I would say in my early college years is
Yeah.
when I leaned heavily on him and really had that true personal relationship.
Well, that's good. I've heard a lot about that just in previous interviews that college is the time where everybody kind of hones in on their relationships and makes it a little bit more personal. Was that difficult for you being a college athlete and just being in college in general to keep that relationship and allow it to grow?
No, I mean, I'm not perfect, right? But even in college, eh, I wasn't the person that always like did clubbing and things like
Hmm.
that, alcohol. I didn't honestly test alcohol until I graduated
Hmm.
because my relationship with Christ was really strong at that point in time. But for me, it was, you know, this is what I'm doing and I'm navigating this space. There are a lot of barriers. There aren't a lot of people that would kind of you had to navigate through. But it wasn't difficult. It was like this is what I wanted to do. But also there's a lot of people that are like me that are still trying to figure it out. So, finding that group was really important.
Hmm.
And we kind of just did it together. Again, we're not perfect, but it wasn't as difficult as what some people make it seem to be or, make it out to be. It's just making sure that you kind of surround yourself with great people that can help you navigate.
Yeah, yeah, that's good having that community that's kind of like-minded. It makes it a little bit more easier and enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Um, what does it mean to be crowned by God rather than the world?
When you think about a crown, you know that you're taking ownership of something, And so for me, this is it's like a medal, it's a medal of honor, God crowning you, meaning like I'm giving you purpose. I'm helping you understand that what I'm giving you is heavy, right? But in order to navigate this, in order to get the things that I want you to have, you need to have this crown. But it does require a lot, right? It says heavy is
Yeah,
the person who wears the crown. Like this is a
yeah,
lot. This is
yeah,
not easy. You're navigating. Like I'm like, dang, why is it so difficult?
yeah.
But for me, it's a medal of honor. And it's something that I wouldn't take lightly because God gave this to me.
Hmm.
God gives us our purpose. And in so, He's crowning us with what we need to be able to fulfill that purpose. And it's not always easy.
Yeah, it's not. It's not easy at all, and a lot of people they kind of run from that. But once you step into it and kind of feel that pressure, it's for your good. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's always for your good. How has Jesus changed the way you live day to day, specifically in sports administration? I know it
Mm,
gets hectic in the administration world and a lot of patience. So, what's your take on that? How has Jesus changed you?
yeah, it's the patience. It's the when you want to just fuss people out and you just want to kirk out on them. It's just like, okay, am I really being reflective of Christ? Again,
Hmm.
we're not perfect, right? We make mistakes. And there are some times where you might have to go in the other deep end and have, conversations and different things like that. But then it's also too for me, if I was to have that conversation, how do I feel after, right? Like, do I feel bad? Am I reflecting on, dang, I could have handled this differently, or I could have said this, And so for me, that's where I get the growth, because I'm like, okay, I know I did wrong. And God, was I reflective of you? Absolutely not.
Right.
Forgive me, and then help me in the future navigate these conversations, navigate these different spaces, especially in a workspace where it may be difficult. Again, I'm in a Christian university, so those conversations might be different. Those situations might be different because we try to lead with Christ first,
Mm-hmm.
but we're still human.
Right.
So, but it's again, he's just like, okay, let me just check myself. Let me check myself at the door before I come in. Am I coming in with a positive attitude? All those different things matter because people are always watching.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even when you think they're not, they're always watching and listening.
Yes.
Um, what is one lesson God has taught you through athletics?
Ooh. I would say purpose,
Okay.
right? The titles aren't everything. I had to learn that. I had to humble myself just recently, because I have a position that's slightly different, a whole lot different, honestly. And God is speaking to me now and working through me, one, for to humble myself, but also to understand that, titles doesn't mean everything, but I have a purpose for you where you are. So
Okay.
understanding that everywhere that we go, every university we may work, every college program, whatever that may be, there's a purpose and a reason why we're there. The issue is us not really honing in on having that relationship with God to say, God, I need you to reveal this to me. I
Mm,
need I need some kind of sign because this is hard, right? But
yeah.
do I trust you enough to go through this process? Because I know you're refining me for something that I don't
Yeah.
know about. But can I get a little clue,
Just a little
And
something.
that's the real and honest conversations that I like to have, and I like to have to tell people to have. Like, God, me and him, that's my OG. Like,
Yeah.
that's my dude. I have respect for him, but respect enough to not, like, I need you, right? And
Hmm.
these conversations are very, very candid and very transparent. So for me, it is those three things. I wouldn't say it's one over the other, but it's definitely patience, being humble, and then understanding there's purpose.
Definitely. You kind of touched on my next question a little bit. What was the hardest season you've ever faced? That could be
Now,
during your sports season,
now,
whenever.
Damn, I am in
Okay.
a difficult phase of my career, of my spiritual
Yeah.
life, my personal life, all at once. So I'm being tested in so many different ways, to the point where I just literally just the other day just crying out to God, like, I just need to hear from you. I need to understand, why am I here? Beyond just the surface level things.
Hmm.
I need to understand that. And sometimes I might not, but then God sometimes brings people or situations to say, okay, okay, God, I see you. So right now in my phase, because I'm in a season of transition,
Hmm.
it has been the hardest.
Um, for those who may be new to faith, new to Christ, and looking for those signs, what are some ways that you would advise them to kind of look for? Because they may not know where to look for those signs. What would be some advice for you?
I think the most important thing and the main thing is just having that as you're navigating a new relationship, right? You want to spend time. That's a new friendship. That's even if you're dating, right? It's the same thing. You're spending so much time to get to know that person. It's the same thing with when you're
Hmm.
having a new relationship with Christ. What does that look like? It's just getting into the word. It's just having that meditation, having that moment of silence and that peace, right? When they say peace, it surpasses all understanding. It's truly what you need to understand.
Yeah.
So life is busy. Social media make things speed up, but being
Hmm.
able to be in a space where you're calm, you're quiet, and you're just having that conversation with God, that helps. In doing so, additionally, there might be times where God might bring someone to you, whether it's in a sermon, whether it's just regular conversation, different things where he just gives you glimpse like, okay, I see you. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I always tell new believers, like, you have to put in the work to have this relationship. You
You
can't
definitely
just say,
do.
hey, I give my life to you, God, and that's it. This is a relationship. So in relationships, what do you do from a human standpoint? You put the time in. So it's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. And while you're doing that, God will reveal in different ways specifically to you. It might be different for other people.
Yeah.
So I can't really answer that in that way, in that
Mm-hmm.
sense. But for me, is he's going to reveal it so it's super loud to you on what it makes sense when he's talking.
Yeah, that's good because everybody's path and journey is a little bit differently. So he's gonna speak to you in different ways. So that's really
Absolutely.
good. Um, what does compete for God's glory look like?
Oh, what does compete for God's glory look like? Um, I would say for me, it's just doing things that's pleasing to him, right? You know, we know God is a jealous God, so he don't want to be competing with anyone, right?
Right.
So for me, it's just, okay, God, am I doing this in alignment with you? Am I doing this in alignment with my purpose, right? And when we're doing that, that's when he gets the glory. But also, am I like outwardly having a conversation about you and telling people about you and how you've changed my life, how you've helped me navigate different spaces, how you saved me, all those different things. I say for me, it's just making sure that you're always acknowledging him in everything that you do. And for that, you really wouldn't have to compete.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Um, what Bible verse keeps you grounded?
Um, lately what's keeping me grounded is what is it, Matthew 16. I have it written down actually on my computer, 16:26. Because I'm in a season where I'm just like, my enemy is ambition.
Yeah.
And it's like, what will profit a man if he gains the whole world if he loses
Right.
soul,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm getting the accomplishments, I'm getting this, but God, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Right?
Hmm.
Is this pleasing to you? Am I doing things that are in alignment with my purpose? So when someone said this to me the other day, like, Shaq, you're so ambitious. And I'm like, man, but am I too ambitious? Right?
Okay.
Am I so ambitious where it's becoming my idol?
Okay.
Because God don't like to compete with anything, and anything could be someone's idol. And so for me, I feel like I gotta kind of work through that. So lately, Matthew 16:26 has been my thing, my verse to kind of like get me back on track, like in what I'm doing.
That's good. This actually leads into the next question is how do you respond when your identity starts becoming tied to your performance? And that kind of touched on like your ambitious nature and just for athletes out there when they start kind of identifying as what they are instead of who they are.
Yeah, so I'm navigating that as well. But I say that to say, I just try to also make sure that I come from a place of gratefulness that God has given me the talents and the abilities and the networks and the experiences to do what I'm doing. So when we talk about giving to God the glory, those are the things that I try to make sure that I'm intentional about. But also in doing so, I make sure that I'm not losing my soul while
Hmm.
again being super ambitious. But
Yeah.
then I'm saying, okay, God, is this the time? Is this for me? Is this in alignment with my purpose? Those are the questions that I like to ask. Like I'm doing a lot of different things, God, and they're great to the outside world, but is it to you? Am
Hmm.
I taking too much of my time building the business, growing and traveling, and not having my conversations with you, not having my one-on-one time with you, you know? So for me, that's what I try to work through and work on because I started to sometimes shift into that becoming my identity.
Hmm.
And I had to take a step back and check myself because it can easily happen. Like, okay, if this goes away, who am I?
Yeah.
Just like you asked the question, if I stop playing sports, who am I? So I can't be so rooted into that as my identity. It's just some of the things that I do.
That makes sense. And it's easy to do that, like you said, especially with the day and age of social media and things like that. It's easy to start comparing. It's easy to start kind of saying, man, I got to be doing A, B, C, and D. So it's always good to just slow down, like you said earlier, and just kind of remind yourself of what you're here for. How do you fight comparison in today's sports culture, or how would you advise athletes to fight that?
That's an enemy also. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's not just for student athletes, it's for people in general. It's
Hmm.
not just for in athletics, it's for life in general. Social
Yeah.
media has changed the world so much that we're always in a comparison trap. So to answer your question about helping them with student athletes, it's like, okay, God, you have what you have for me,
Yeah.
right? um and again, it goes back to the relationship, because there's so many things that are super loud in this world that are attacking us spiritually, that we have to be strong. So that comparison is really really hard out here. And so when I tell student athletes, it's just like, what do you think God has an alignment for? I mean, in your world, what do you think that your purpose is supposed to be? So having those conversations with student athletes, when you hear or you think that they're comparing themselves, like, what's for you is going to be for you. Like, can't
100%.
nobody take away what's for me. My name is already on there before I was born. Like he said, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. So if he
Yeah.
knew all those things, he knew that 10, 15, 20 years ago, what you're going to be doing is already for you. So even for people, when they close the doors from a professional standpoint, that wasn't for me. And God
Right.
protected me from something that's a lot around the corner that I didn't even know or think about.
Hmm.
So I tell the student athletes the same way, and helping them understand that this is going to be like this now, and it's going to be like this when you become an adult, and when you get into the real world, it's going to be that comparison trap.
Yeah.
So understanding what that looks like and catching yourself. Again,
Hmm.
you're human. You catch yourself in those conversations where you're comparing yourself, but then you're like, you know what, God, I trust you. If you
Yeah.
trust God, then all that other stuff is just it's just of the world.
It's of the world. And I found myself doing that recently where I had to check myself and just say, just stop worrying. What's for you is going to be for you. Because like you, I'm ambitious and I continue want to keep growing, keep learning more. But, when it's not going according to how I want it to go, I get upset and frustrated. So it's just leaning in and learning that it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Right. And then also too, to add to that, a lot of people just not ready for what they think that they're ready for. So
Hmm.
what they see that they want, they might not be ready for it spiritually. They might be not ready for it financially, professionally, personally. It could be different things, but God is protecting us and saying, okay, it's not your time yet, right?
Hmm.
So the same thing with titles. It might not be your time yet. For student athletes, it might not be your time yet. You might need to do some
Right.
more reps before you can get on that field.
Exactly.
And before you get busted wide open.
Yeah.
No, it might not be your time yet. And I tell a lot of people that you're comparing yourself to someone who put in the time.
Hmm.
Ask yourself, have you put in your time to be at that level,
Right.
to be on that playing surfaces, to do what they're doing? And if you can't really answer that quickly and accurately, then let's be realistic here.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're touching on a good point because I even in some of the no's that I've gotten, I had some time to reflect and thought about it and say, was I really ready for that? And now that I've kind of gotten some more experience and kind of like you said, done my reps, I see why I wasn't prepared for that because I didn't have those reps in yet. But now that I'm starting getting those reps in, I'm more prepared for when that time does come. So that's
Mhm.
good. Um, what encouragement would you give an athlete chasing both excellence and Christ?
It can be done.
Yeah.
It goes hand in hand. But Christ has to be at the center. He has to be the first, right?
Mhm.
And once you do that, the excellence come. Once
Yeah.
you do that, you'll be able to understand, like, okay, I'm being blessed because of my relationship with Christ. See, when you are a woman and a man of God, you do things in excellence. because you want, of course, God to get the glory, because God don't want no average. He don't want no mediocre. He don't do
Right.
mediocre, right? So that's going to come with it. Excellence is what he does. That's his middle name. And so for that, once you have and build that relationship with God, he's going to allow those things to happen for you to be excellent, for you to be on the forefront, but it has to start with the reps, and that's the relationships, that's the conversations, that's the meditation, that's the things that we don't want to do because it's time consuming, but it's necessary because we're going to be attacked. And so when we're attacked, what do we do when this happens? Do we have a Bible verse to speak to? Do we even know how to say, like, God, I just need you right now? What does that sound like, honestly? And so I like to tell people, like, in order to be excellent, God has to be at the forefront. He has to be the center. And then all the other things are going to come in place, because then you're going to be stronger to come with that, because excellence comes with the price tag.
Yeah,
It
it
comes
definitely
with the
does.
haters. It comes with the naysayers. It comes with all those people that you're like, dang, like, I know it comes with that. But
Yeah.
if you're not strong enough for that, you're not going to get it.
No, you're not gonna understand what's happening either. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. And you're gonna be so in your feelings because you're like, yeah. I mean, like, look at all the people in the Bible, right? Once they
hmm
became kings and queens, and once they became, aligned with their purpose, they lost a lot. People, I mean, look at
yeah.
Job, like, even his own wife. Like, come on now. So you have to understand, and that comes with that. But once you trust God, like, he'll bless you tremendously, and you'll understand, like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. To touch on that, can you kind of explain what that like full surrender looks like? Because that's the ultimate test of faith, just surrendering everything to God. Can you kind of touch on that, what that means to you?
I mean, it's just what you said. It's for surrendering.
Yeah.
It's for surrendering your job, your life, your ambition, your goals, your dreams, to the point where you're like, okay, you know what? Let's throw the goals away. Okay, what do you see me as? Who am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be doing it at? Full surrendering means you have no control, and you don't even know. Like, okay, wait, right? So it's just to the point where, I mean, when you're walking out on water and you don't know. Now, I wouldn't say go that far, because there's some people that have been tried that, and I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's to that um example where, okay, I'm trusting you, I'm looking ahead, I'm not looking down. I'm making sure that every decision that I make is in conversation with you. So for me, I also say, like, when I did my business, Next Play Athletics, I've had multiple businesses and they all were thriving businesses, but I said, God, I want to do this different.
hmm
I want to make money, right? That's why we're in business. But I want to make sure that I make an impact. I don't know what this looks like. I need your help. As I started to work through that, I said, okay, God, what's next? So every point of my business, it had God in it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having conversation with you, and you got to let me know before I make this next move.
Yeah.
That's the surrendering that we're talking about. And I'm like, okay, but I want to do this, guy. I think this makes sense. But if he's
Yeah.
saying no, like,
Mhm.
so there, it is a total trust when you are surrendering, because you do not know.
Yeah.
And surrendering is like, I'm giving this to you.
Yeah.
So it's important that we work on that. It doesn't happen overnight. It's some, combat where you like, oh no, I want to do this, but God is saying something different, and he's going to show you,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna let you do it. That's the great
Yeah.
thing. We get to make our own choice, right?
Yeah.
But in doing so, when we make the wrong choices, we understand, okay, that wasn't for me.
Yeah, definitely. I was just gonna touch on that. Like he'll let you keep bumping your head until you finally understand and he gets your attention. It may take a little while, but once you get there, you'll understand that hey, you can't do it on your own. We're getting closer to the end of the interview, so this is like the rapid fire round.
So like 3 to 5 seconds to answer each question, and then we'll kind
Okay.
of wrap up toward the end. All right, first question is favorite Bible verse.
So I already talked about it, Matthew 16:26.
Favorite worship song.
I'm on this worship song is if I could have anything, it has what is her name? Anaya Walls, one of the Walls family, and Blake Wiggins.
Okay,
It's a dope song. It's a great worship song, and I need that every day.
I understand. Dream teammate.
Ooh, it's just one.
Yeah, just one.
I would say Don Staley.
Okay, okay, that's a good choice. I haven't heard that one, but that's real good. One word that describes your walk with Christ.
Evolving.
Okay. One word God has been teaching you lately.
Patience.
What's crazy is every interview that I've done, that has been the main word, patience.
It's hard. It's the
It
hardest
is.
thing.
It is. Even in my own life, it's tough. Finish this sentence. Being crowned means.
I would say entrusting God with what He equipped me with for His purpose.
All right. Well, I didn't have any more questions today. I appreciate you again taking time out to talk with me and share your story. I'm glad we got to connect.
Yeah, this is good what you're doing. I'm so like in awe and just thank you for just listening to God and just doing this in a world where there's so much noise out there. If there is anything I could do to help, just let me know. But what you're doing, you need to make this a shirt because I love this logo in the background. I was like, whenever you make some merch, let me know. I'll be the first
Oh
one to
yeah.
buy some because it's dope.
It's
I really
I
like it.
I appreciate it. It's in the works. I'm just trying to figure out how I want it to be
Yeah.
positioned and on the back and stuff like that. But once I get it going, I'll definitely let you know.
Yeah. Thank
I've heard
you.
a lot of good things about it, but I appreciate it again. It's always good to hear some other stories. They're inspiration to me. Just listening to you, listening to other people that I've interviewed is very inspiring and motivating. And I just hope that what it does for me, that it does that for other people watching. So I
Yes.
appreciate you again.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Young Frenchie, 808.